Hey YouTube, this I Captain Horror, and today I am going to be ranking on the tier list all the Friday the 13th movies. However, I do have a guest with me, and it is my good friend, TheHoriz0n16. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
So, Friday the 13th, I wanted to have you on me with this. We can kind of like have like a mutual discussion about each movie. We can talk about the good things about it, the bad things about the movie, and where it ranks. So you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so first movie, Friday the 13th, part one. Now, with me, this movie, I don't know about you, but it's kind of campy. It's a little like it feels like kind of like a B horror movie, but I know it has like it starts everything, so I give it some appreciation for that. But overall, the whole movie's like a who done it, you know.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't seen the movie, the end. It's Jason's mom is the killer. But to me, I would put this in kind of like a B tier. It's one of those, it's not great, but it's not bad movie either. I know a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I feel like B is a decent place to place it.
So we can put the first movie in B. Like the good things about it, like it does have some memorable moments, Kevin Bacon's character getting stabbed in the neck with the arrow, and
Yeah.
Tom Savini's special effects in this movie were pretty good too for 1980. But yeah, we'll definitely put this in B. So on to the next Friday the 13th, part two. I don't know about you. I really, really love this fucking movie.
Going from part one to part two, in my opinion, was a lot better.
Yep.
The kills were a lot more dynamic and more interesting.
Plus, the other thing too, I think it has some more memorable characters. I think Jenny is a really memorable final girl in this movie. Plus, whenever you think Friday the 13th, you immediately think Jason. So this is Jason's like debut, if you want to say. I mean, I know he's at the jump scare scene at the end of part one, but he's just a kid. No, this is adult Jason.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like the burlap sack look too for him. It's the other thing too. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that is like inspired by other movies. So there's that movie, A Bay of Blood, and the spear impalement through the bed was done first in A Bay of Blood, and they did this in part two. And I also think, if I can remember, I think this is a fact too, the burlap sack that Jason wears was kind of inspired by some real life murders, the Phantom killings in Texarkana in the 1950s, where the killer wore a burlap sack. So, I mean, that just adds a little bit more of the creepiness factor. But for a sequel, it's solid. I kind of want to put it in S tier, but I think that's pushing it. I would probably put it in A.
I could agree with that, yeah.
So we'll put part two in A. Next one, Friday the 13th, part 3, or also known as Friday the 13th, part 3D. I'm not too big on this movie. The 3D effects to me are very outdated today. I bet if you saw it in theaters, it was probably a really cool experience, since that whole 3D was some new technology and everything and whatnot. But it doesn't do anything for me, man. I mean, you're gonna have some people that really like this movie, and some people say like, "Oh, how can you hate this movie? It's where Jason gets his mask." I'm like, that doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Right, yeah.
there's like some of the characters in there are they're honestly pretty forgettable. Like I don't even remember the final girl's name in this movie. All I know, but that's the thing too, is like it doesn't make sense that she has all these flashbacks of like where Jason tried to like sexually assault her when she was at the camp. Like what? Like, huh? That is why are they implementing that in this movie?
Yeah, that's really weird.
Um I would have to put this in C.
Yeah, seems fair. Because like it's not like dog shit horrible
No,
to put
it's
in
not.
D.
It's
So
watchable.
it's watchable, but there's just like things about it where you're just like
It doesn't like grab my attention. To
exactly, yeah.
me, it feels like a rinse and repeat of part 2, where you have the group of counselors. Well, the thing too is part 3, they're not counselors. They're just a group of kids. Just
Yeah.
horny ass kids. They're not even counselors. And they just go to, they don't go to, because part 2 takes place at the Packanack Lounge. So part 3 was at Higgins Haven, which is like part of Crystal Lake and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you have, basically the same thing. Jason kills all the teens. That's what I'm saying. It's like to me, it's a rinse and repeat of part 2, just different group of kids, different setting ish. Like it still take place at Camp Crystal Lake, but it's not at Packanack Lounge.
Right.
But like I said, to me, the 3D effects are kind of outdated. It's almost goofy and laughable today.
Mm-hmm.
There are some good moments in it. There are, but overall, like the whole plot, I'm just like, I don't do. Not only that, the jump scare ending they did in part 3, but it was Jason's mom, and I'm like, but why does she have her head on? Her head's cut off. Like what? What dream sequence is that? Like they ripped it off from the first movie. It's so silly. All right, moving on. Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter.
This part 4, in my opinion, is probably like one of the best in the series.
It's my favorite.
It's my favorite as well. So
this is
like,
where I think. Well, go ahead.
Just everything about it is so good.
This is why I like about it. Okay. You bring in the Tommy Jarvis character. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Feldman, good child actor. But, it takes place at Camp Crystal Lake, like normal. But, like, you have the different. It's like 2 stories in one. You got the stuff going on with the Jarvises, and then you have the other stuff going on with the other group of teens. Not only that, Crispin Glover's in this movie, too. So that's cool. Good cast. There's good casting in this movie.
Yeah.
And personally, Ted White is my favorite actor to ever portray Jason. Then it's Kane Hodder. But I love Ted White. He's so authentic, and his mannerisms as Jason in this movie, to me at the time, it was fucking scary. Like he's just like the Jason is very brutal in this movie, in my opinion. Like walking through doors, like that's some scary shit.
True.
Well, not only that, the ending is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Tommy killing Jason and all that good stuff. I really like this movie a lot. Like I said, I like how it has the 2 dilemmas going on with the Jarvises and the other group of teens, and that's the other thing too. Like people go back and saying like, well, you didn't like part 3 because it wasn't counts, it was just horny teenagers or whatever. That's fine. I don't care about that. That's going to make it important for me. But it's like they took part 3. They were like, okay, let's put horny teenagers over here, whatever, but you have the family stuff going on, and there's this whole conflict. Well, it's not really a conflict, but you have 2 things going on at once, so it keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
But I like the build up. Like this is a good follow up after part 3. Jason comes alive in the morgue. He goes back to Crystal Lake, and obviously he does what he's going to do. He's going to kill anybody who gets in his way at Crystal Lake. but I like the buildup of the movie, and the final act is like what sells this for me overall. Like in the end, I really love part four. It was a good ending till they started making these other movies. I feel like they should have ended the movie here. I think it would have been solid. But this to me goes in S tier.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Friday the 13th, part five. Now, I know a lot of people do not like this movie because it's an imposter Jason,
Yeah.
but it's still a fun movie to watch. It has great characters. There's so many characters in this movie, and they're all unique, and they're all, I think, to me, is what makes the movie enjoyable. Like you could take the whole imposter Jason thing out and not focus on that. It's a good it tells a somewhat good story, which is fine. It's an enjoyable watch.
Yeah,
And
it is.
it's sometimes it's a bit funny. I know this is one of the more, they say, the sleaziest, because there's a gratuitous amount of nudity in this movie. So I mean, there's that point going for it. But the kills overall, I think, are still like solid. So where would you put Friday the 13th Part 5 at?
So for me,
Mhm.
it's enjoyable. It has good characters. If you take the whole imposter Jason part out of it, like if you don't think about it as that, it's overall a decent
Yeah,
movie. I would put it in B.
I would too. I would agree with you on that. Like Dustin was saying, I don't feel like people should be too harsh on this movie just because it doesn't have Jason in it. I think if you were to view this as it is, like, I can get the thing of like people going to see this and they're kind of like, hey, that ain't Jason. Like this, like, well, the hockey mask was a dead giveaway because it has the blue stripes on it
Mm-hmm.
instead of the red. So you could kind of be like, going into that movie, you could have been like, well, Jason's dead, and there's this person at like what seems to be Jason, but the hockey mask stuff, like, that should have been a dead giveaway that this is somebody impersonating Jason. Not only that, the physique, like the guy, Roy, the paramedic, like, well, I don't think it was him that played Jason. It's that, no, it wasn't. But the actor, I forget his name, that plays Jason, has a very slim build.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have been like a dead giveaway. Like, this isn't Jason. Like, what's going on here? So that kind of goes back to the whole part one aspect of who is this? Kind of like the whole who done it thing.
Yeah.
But it's still enjoyable. Like I said, good characters. There's some pretty good kills in there, solid stuff. I agree with you. It's one of those, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's good. So we can put that in B tier. All right. Next one, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I will tell you this. I do like this movie. I like it a lot. I like the whole they, this version of Tommy Jarvis now, how he wants to, finish, not, well, I wouldn't say what he started, because he killed Jason as a kid in part four. And
Yeah.
then in part five, Tommy was kind of like haunted by Jason, thinking Jason was alive and all this stuff. But now he's like, I have to make sure he's dead. And then, he accidentally brings him to life. And then now he has to finish it again. So I do like this whole storyline of Tommy. Um, this movie is, I think it's a solid movie in the entry of the franchise. There's not I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of bad things about this movie either.
No, it's not.
No. So if you were gonna rate this, where would you put it at?
I know a lot of people would put it in S tier, but I would put it in A tier.
I agree. It's like I said, it's one of those. It's a super solid movie, but it's nothing like holy shit. This, like, my mind is blown like that. So this is a very enjoyable movie. I really do like this. I agree with you. We put it in A tier. Now we're getting into the Kane Hodder Friday the 13th movies. Kane Hodder is Jason. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I don't know if you know this.
This is an interesting one for sure.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if you know this. The MPAA butchered this movie. I would this could have been probably one of the most goriest Friday the 13th movies, but the MPAA cut so much shit out because it kept getting an X rating. And then they would have to edit the movie, and they would come back and they would get another X rating. Like, they had to do so many cuts to this movie just to get it a rated R. But yeah, I'm with you. There's a lot of interesting stuff on this movie, and I'll let you go on with that.
The main character having supernatural powers is an interesting take on the movie.
Well, you know, they were that was almost kind of like a like, I wouldn't say a spoof, but they kind of like copied what Carrie was.
Yeah, I can see that.
So to me, that kind of comes a little bit of the, I don't want to say unoriginal, but it's a unique like theme or like an element they included in Friday the 13th. But to me, I think that's what makes it a little enjoyable. And
yeah,
like, if you go back and look at it, and what was the girl? What was her name? Like Tina, I think.
I thought it was like Chrissy or something.
Oh man, see, that's another thing too. Some of the characters too are a little on the, like, you know who they are, but sometimes the names are kind of like, oh man, I can't remember. Now I'm actually gonna look it up. Hold on.
I thought it was Chrissy, but I could be wrong.
It was Tina. I was right. It was Tina
Okay.
Shepherd. Yeah, I was right. It was Tina. You had me second guessing myself, but like, hear me. This is the thing. I think the ending on this is so fucking stupid. Her dead dad pulling Jason back into the lake. I'm like, wait, what? Her dad? Like, her father that she accidentally killed as a child, for whatever reason, his corpse has been in Crystal Lake all these years. He never had a proper burial or a funeral, and he's been down in Crystal Lake, and she happens just to summon his fucking corpse back to life, and it's so dumb. That ending is so stupid. I'm really mixed. Like, I kind of want it. Like, I really want to put it in B. But that ending, dude, fucking kills it for me. I kind of want to put it in C. Just because of the telekinesis thing, it's kind of like, whatever. And then the ending, you're just like, oh my god.
I feel like it would be a B movie if that ending did not happen.
I feel like if they didn't have the fucking ending that they did, and they didn't have Tina with these telekinetic powers, they just made her some, I don't know, just some solid, final girl with normal shit. And now you don't have that annoying ass fucking psychiatrist. And they didn't cut all the gore out. Dude, easily an A movie for me.
True.
But I have to put, this is me, I would put Part 7 in C.
Yeah, I could agree with you on it.
Okay. Oh boy. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Goes to Manhattan. Or was it Jason Goes to Manhattan or Takes Manhattan?
Takes Manhattan.
Jason Takes Manhattan. Why did I say Goes to Manhattan? It's Takes Manhattan. It sucks. I fucking hate this movie. You know I hate this movie. I will tell you. This movie sucked so bad, Paramount said, we don't want it no more, and sold the fucking film franchise rights and all that legal shit to New Line Cinema. Like, you have Jason Goes to Manhattan or Takes Manhattan, whatever the fuck it is. Now I feel stupid. Is it Jason Goes to Manhattan?
I thought it's Jason Takes Manhattan.
I think you're right. Like, I hate this movie so much. It is Takes Manhattan. That's what I'm saying. I hate this movie so much. I forget what the bit of the fucking title is because I don't care about that movie. Like, that's how bad I hate it. You have Jason, like, you have that scene that takes place at Crystal Lake. Okay, cool, whatever. Then you have all these students that go on a boat, cruise thing to New York City, quote unquote Vancouver, where they filmed it at. There is no way in hell that boat can go from Crystal Lake to New York. There's just no way. It's, to me, it just seems very improbable. And not only that, the whole goddamn movie takes place on the fucking boat. And what is it, like the last
like 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, like 20, 30 minutes. It actually takes place in the city. Like, they filmed it in Vancouver in Canada because they obviously couldn't film the whole thing in New York City. There is the one cool shot, though, of Kane Hodder as Jason in Times Square. Like, that, to me, in that part of the movie, like, okay, that's a cool shot. Everything else, I don't fucking care for it. And not only that, you can't even explain this. Why the hell the main girl in this movie is having flashbacks of Jason as a kid, but he's normal. Jason's deformed. Why is the kid normal looking? And then over the movie, when she starts having these visions of him, he slowly progresses into disfigured. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you lost me. I'm done. So, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Easy
D
tier.
D tier. I fucking hate it. I'm gonna let you take the next one. Now we're on the New Line Cinema stuff, and this one. Jason Goes to Hell, and obviously they couldn't use Friday the 13th in their name title because New Line Cinema was like, well, you sold us this, but I guess there was some legal thing where they're like, well, we can't use Friday the 13th in our movie title, so we are just going to call it Jason Goes to Hell.
Isn't it technically called Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday, though?
I think so. Like, that's what it, like, the whole working title was, the Final Friday.
Yeah. Okay, so Jason Goes to Hell. This movie, I personally don't like this movie. Okay, so at the beginning, Jason gets blown up, and there's this weird parasite thing that infects people, which is, it's Jason as a parasite.
Well, it's like his soul, isn't it?
I think it's his soul, but it takes form of like a parasite type thing, right?
Yeah, like the coroner was like eating his heart. Like, what possessed him? I don't know. It was some type of. It's that weird whole like form of possession, and he eats Jason's heart, and then it's Jason and soul in this dude's body. So
basically he goes that person that eats his heart goes around and kills people, and then after he kills somebody, he I don't know what
transfers the soul.
Yeah, transfers it in just the weirdest way possible to other people, and it's all over the place. It's weird.
Open mouth kiss. It's weird. Now, I'll tell you this. If anybody hasn't seen this movie, I will tell you, this is one of those movies where you could just watch it one time and be like, yeah, I'm good now. But if I was going to recommend it, definitely watch the unrated version, because the gore in this movie is pretty fucking good. Would you agree with me on that too?
Yeah, the gore in it's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's got some good moments in it. I do like a few characters. I like the Duke character, Creighton Duke. I like his character. But I think it was like that whole thing where it's like, the whole soul transfer thing, I can appreciate the fact that they went that direction because it's very creative. Like, it's a very creative idea. But it doesn't work for a lot of people. I can watch it and just be like, yeah, whatever. I don't hate it, but I don't like it a lot either. If I was gonna put Jason Goes to Hell on this, I would rather watch this than Jason Takes Manhattan. This is an easy C tier for me.
I would watch it over Manhattan, but I don't know. It's still bad, but I'll agree. I'll agree with you.
It's way more creative than Jason Takes Manhattan, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan is literally just like Jason on a boat.
Yep, Jason on a boat.
So I'll agree with you, and we can put it in C.
Okay, C tier. Also, funny thing, when I first started getting the Friday the 13th movies, the first time I watched Jason Goes to Hell, I was under the impression that this was going to be a movie about Jason in hell. Oh shit, I was fucking wrong, dude. I was like, yo, Jason, like, fighting demons and shit in hell, let's go. Like, nope, not at all. Also, we'll talk about Jason Goes to Hell later, after we talk about Jason X. Now, I know there's people out there that do not like this movie because they're like, oh my gosh, Jason in space, that's so fucking stupid. Hey, you knew he was going to be in space. What else were you expecting? This, to me, is a fun movie, dude.
I agree. A lot of the kills in this movie are really cool.
The nitrogen kill?
One in particular.
The nitrogen kill.
The nitrogen kill.
Or the liquid nitrogen, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, the trailer came out. They even told you it's in the future and Jason's in space. And people were like, wait, what? I'm like, you cannot go in to watch this movie for the first time with like super high expectations. No. They wanted to make a movie about Jason in space. They fucking succeeded, and it's stupid fun. I like it, but it's not like super, super great. It's enjoyable. I put this in B tier.
It's enjoyable enough to put in B. It's not bad enough to put in C. That's the way I look at it.
I agree. So Jason X, B tier. Whoops. Put that right here. All right. So next up, Freddy versus Jason. And this is where I'm going to go back to Jason Goes to Hell. The ending, Jason Goes to Hell. Jason's mask laying in the dirt. Freddy's fucking glove comes out, pulls the mask under. They were able to do that because New Line Cinema was owned the Nightmare on Elm Street namesake and everything else. So they were able to do this crossover. So this was a crossover that a lot of people had been wanting, and they were like, when the fuck are they going to do it? And here it is, Freddy versus Jason. To me, it's just like Jason X. You knew it was going to be a Freddy versus Jason movie. You knew this was just this catered to horror fans. They were like, let's make this fun movie and cater this whole horror movie fan base. People are going to fucking love it. And they just had fun with it. And it's to me, it's on the same level as Jason X. Silly concept, like, oh, Freddy vs. Jason, oh, okay. But like, it'll be a fun watch. And I know a lot of people like this movie. I don't think anybody has anything bad to say about Freddy vs. Jason.
Not to my knowledge, no.
No, I love the soundtrack for this movie too.
Oh, the soundtrack for this movie slaps.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack. Some of the CGI stuff in there was a little what, but who cares? It was the early 2000s. I would put Freddy vs. Jason easily in B tier.
For me, I like this movie a lot. The kills are really good. The soundtrack is amazing. For me, okay. if this was my tier list, I would have put it in A just because I like this movie a lot.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I would put it in A tier if it wasn't for the ending. With Freddy winking, you're like, huh?
Yeah, the ending is very weird. It's like, okay, I see they were trying to be like funny with it.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a fun movie. It's not. To me, it's just one of those. Like, it's a silly, fun movie. I don't think it's trying to achieve something to be like this masterpiece film.
No, it's not.
I'm still kind of wanting to put it on B tier. If you would put it on A tier, that's fine. But you can agree with me.
Yeah, I can agree. Yeah,
like you said, if this was your tier, you'd put it on A. If it was my tier, I'd put it on B. I wish there was like some type of middle tier to put that on, like some tier between A and B.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see putting Freddy versus Jason on the same level as like Part 2 and Part 6.
That's fair.
So we'll put Freddy versus Jason in B tier. All right. Now we're on to the 2009, not a remake, this is a reboot of Friday the 13th. Dude, I fucking love this movie, man. There's so much good shit going on in this movie, dude. And like, if no one's ever seen it, like, stop the video, go watch it right now. This movie will not disappoint.
The thing about this movie, Jason is fucking scary in this movie.
Dude, Jason Mears is no, it's not. What's the guy's name? Oh, David. Is it David Mears?
I think so, yeah.
Let me double check, so that way I'm not. Oh, man. Hold on. Derek Mears. I'm sorry. Why did I think David Mears? But yeah, Derek Mears is Jason. Holy shit, dude. This version of Jason is fucking scary. Not only that, like I said, there's so much good shit going on in this movie. The kills are fucking brutal. Not only the cold open, dude. You remember the cold open?
It's been a minute since I've seen this movie.
No, you had the teenagers that go out to go find the weed.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Jason just fucking kills them all, and he's got his like little sack head thing going on, which is a nice little homage to Part 2. And then title card, I'm like, yo, what? That was the open? Like, I remember watching it in the theater, I'm like, wait, what? And then you have the whole new cast because, you know, the group of the kids that were there, I think like Jason kidnapped her because she like reminded him of his mom. So he has him in this whole, you know, the underground layer shit thing. And then now you have her brother who's going to look for her with his other group of friends. I love the characters in this movie. Not only that, this Jason's fucking smart. Like, that whole cave thing is like rigged with booby traps and alerts. Like, Jason don't need a Ring doorbell. He knows who's coming in that cave. This, and not only that, that girl, what was her name? Not the guy's sister. Wasn't the girl who got kidnapped Jenna?
Maybe. I'm really bad with names.
Well, then you had the actor Jared Padalecki. He plays Clay, and he's the one that's looking for us. Is the same guy from what's that show? Supernatural. So yeah, he plays that character Clay, and he's looking for his sister, which is also another little homage between Part 4, where you had that Rob guy who was looking for his sister who was killed in Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't know about that. And but yeah, it was like down to him, and like he gets his sister, right, and they're like getting out of Jason's cave, And like that girl who was with Clay, I don't know if it was like his girlfriend or not, but she's like the final girl and she fucking dies. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like you thought she was gonna live. Like this movie just throws so much unexpected shit at you. The kills are violent. They're fucking awesome. You know what? 2009 reboot, fucking S tier.
I agree, 100%.
Awesome. So there is our tier rankings on all these movies. So these are our opinions. Everyone's entitled to their own. I know some people are going to be like, "Well, I don't agree with this list." That's totally fine. Everyone, you know, this is how we feel about it. We're in unison. Although, if I was going to make anything different, Horizon would put this there.
But other than that, though, yeah, everything is pretty accurate.
Pretty, yeah.
For our opinions. I'm curious
Right.
to what people. I know a lot of people. There's a couple of these movies that I know people hate, which is like obviously a lot of people hate Jason Takes Manhattan, but I know a lot of people would also.
5.
Yeah, a lot of people hate 5. A lot of people hate Jason X. I know a lot of people would probably throw 5 and Jason X into D as well, which is interesting.
They're still enjoyable to watch, in my opinion. I couldn't rank them that low. Like I can barely sit through Jason Takes Manhattan, man. Like
it's so boring. The kills in it are, I mean, there's like one kill that I can think of off the top of my head that was actually like,
Julius getting his head punched off.
Yeah, the head punch kill, that's literally the only good kill in the whole movie.
The thing too is it's so fucking impractical, it's funny. You're just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Jason, so maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
All right, man. Glad you could hang around for this. I enjoyed this. We'll definitely be making some more. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also Horizon's channel will be in the description. Go give him a sub as well. Check out his videos. Catch you on the next one. Later.